This time on Street Rat Garage, it is the Vice Grip Garage Hood Saver 6000. How easy is this to install? Today we will be trying out the latest product from Vice Grip Garage, the Hood Saver 6000, and we will be using the Vice Grip Garage ramp truck, the former Vice Grip Garage ramp truck. So the first thing we should do is have a quick unboxing. I've never done an unboxing before, so this will be the first ever. So this is the box. Let's un it. So this is exactly how it comes to you in the mail, minus the packing slip that I removed because it has my information on it. So you get your American flag stickers, Vice Grip Garage Hood Saver 6000, more American flag stickers. So let's have a look inside and see what we have going on. Okay, and fresh out of the box, we have nicely packed hood savers in the little styrofoam packages, and goes this way, looks like it goes that way, installed like that. So this is the back portion, this is the front portion, and there's your VGG logo. And as you can see, these are they're painted. I don't know if they're paint or powder coat, but they have a UV protected finish on it. And some people were wondering why paint something that goes underneath your hood and isn't going to be exposed to the elements anyway. Well, I will show you that part in just a minute. But there's one, there's the other one, and we have hardware and instructions. So I went ahead and laid out all of our hardware, everything that comes in the box. We got the instructions, we got the braces, we got what I guess these are inserts, screws, and some these aren't really self-tapping, but they're sheet metal screws, I guess. I believe the reason that we have so much hardware here is because there's going to be two separate ways to install this. I haven't read through the instructions yet, but I'm pretty sure these are the lazy man way and these are the more professional way. You know which direction we're going to go in. Now let's go ahead and have a quick look at our instructions here. Hood Saver 6000, 1973 through 1980 Chevy GMC trucks, Suburbans, Blazers, and Jimmys. Congratulations, you have purchased the highest quality American-made brace available. The design, engineering, production, all the way down to the powder coating. So we know these are powder coated now. Hardware and packaging are done right here in the USA. It goes on to say that the Hood Saver 6000 is a patent pending hood brace that prevents and corrects the common square body hood kink or fold, whether it's a new aftermarket OEM or old original hood. They are all subject to the dreaded bend, or the taco hood as I like to call it. It doesn't say that here. When used correctly. There's a disclaimer, when used correctly. This brace will save your hood for years to come, and also corrects most bent hoods. And right here in the small print, I don't know why it's so small, because it's seems important. It says the installation photo below are taken with a truck that already has a mildly bent hood, and they'll be using the self-tapper method on this demonstration here. So this looks like these photos were taken in the Vice Grip Garage shop. Yeah, you can see the vanishing paint there in the background. So these this instructions apparently were photoed and written probably by Derek himself. So where was I? It also says the nutsert method is recommended for a higher quality finish to moderately to severely damaged hoods. So these guys right here, the nutserts, if you're really tacoed up, these are the guys you're gonna want to use. If you're just worried about it a little bit, you can use the self-tapper method. Please note that using the self-tapper method, you can always change hardware to the nut certs. Well, there you go. I mean, why would you not be able to? You're making a bigger hole with these guys and using a smaller hole with these guys. And then you already have the placement of your holes. You got pre-drilled holes to follow. So yeah, that's a good deal. Do it the easy way first. You don't like it, go ahead and throw the nut certs in. Brilliant. Then it just goes on what the package has and what kind of tools you might want to use. Then you have your instructions here. Now we will actually follow the instructions. Step 1, open the hood. Well, that makes sense. Open the hood so we can install the thing that goes on the inside of the hood. Okay, hood open. And it also says, after you open the hood, to oil up all the moving parts of the hinges, which is incredibly important because that's the reason you get taco hood to begin with. One, from having old rusty hood hinges that have not been opened up in years and years, and two, from you closing the hood wrong. So, but you can close the hood wrong, but if you have old rusty hood hinges that don't open and close, that's some taco hood recipe right there. Now these hood hinges are actually in good shape and they really don't need anything, but your pivot points right there, I am just going to hit them with a little transmission fluid. I mean, it's not going to hurt to put a little bit more on there. There's actually a couple more up there. Now if you're dealing with an old rusty hood to begin with, you might use a little penetrating fluid, get them going, and then get you a little oil or lithium grease or whatever you want to use, and get these things oiled up. But the penetrating oil, PB Blaster WD-40, that's basically just to get them moving. And there's a couple more right there. I'm not going to hit those because mine are already good. They've already been lubricated up really well. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there 5 of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 lube points right there. Hit all those lube points. If I missed any, put them in the comments. If you use a different lubricant that you think is better for these hood hinges, let me know. You use oil, you use transmission fluid, use lithium grease. What's the best thing to use on these hoods? Me personally, I'm just going to hit them with a little whatever I have in a bottle, transmission fluid, oil, whatever. Just as long as they go up and down, I'm good. And I'll just check them every year, or probably every year would be good. Open up the hood. This gets opened up quite a bit because I use it around here, jump starting stuff. Okay, oiled up. So we got the hood open, we got it oiled up. Next thing to do is unloosen the first hood bolt, and that would actually be the first hood hinge bolt, which is this guy right here, and that one over there. Now some of you are just now realizing, hey, that already has Vice Grip Garage hood savers on it. Well, this right here, this is what I believe is a 2nd gen VGG hood saver that Derek put on this before I bought it from him. So this one's a prototype. We will be taking the old prototype off and installing the new ones. And since we're here, now I can show you why they're powder coated. Because this is what happens with raw metal. Even though it's on the inside, it's still going to rust up and not look so good. So that's why they're powder coated, and that's why this is a prototype, to find these things out. Okay, let's loosen these guys up. In the instructions, it says to try to do these simultaneously. I can't reach that far, so I loosened that one up a little bit, and now I'm loosening this one up. So that is to prevent the hood from sliding back and forth. But if those bottom bolts are as tight as these front bolts, it's not going nowhere. But I loosen one up and loosen the other. I'll go back and get the other one out, then I'll come back and finish up on this one and pull them out as simultaneously as I can. Now I'm just going to pull these old hood savers out of here, and we'll look at them real quick and, you know, look at the differences. And these just slide out of here, opposite way of what we're going to install the new ones. And yeah, let's look at these real quick. Now here are the old guys compared to the new guys. Old guys, new guys. Now there is a major difference. Now if you will notice, this is the back, this is towards the cab, this is towards the front. If you'll notice, this end is towards the back and this end is towards the front. Now if you put it in this configuration, as we saw when I had to bolt it in there, that puts the VGG right by the hood hinge, right about here, and it's not nearly as visible. So this puts the VGG all the way up towards the front of the hood, so definitely a big improvement there. The VGG is a little bit smaller here than it is here. I think the smaller VGG is probably going to give it a little bit more rigidity. There's not as much meat on this one here, and this could contribute to a weak point. So definitely having the smaller VGG is going to make it a lot more sturdy and a lot more visible. Since it's bolted up to the front instead of shoved all the way into the back by the hood hinge, this is where the hood hinge stops right here, and then immediately the VGG. So definitely a big improvement. And as you can see here, these are just rusted all to heck. So it's really starting to get bad, especially right in this area. That would lead to some failures eventually. I mean, these have only been in there for like, I don't know, 2 years, year and a half, something like that. And they're already starting to look like this. So powder coated, definitely the way to go. Far superior the 6000 series than the old V2 experimentals. Now let's have a quick look at the reason that we need hood savers in the first place. This hood is actually in pretty good shape, but it still has a weak point. You can see the middle right here is definitely cracked and splitting, and it's starting to fold in upon itself. This is a crumple zone. There's one here, there's one here, and there's one here. This is the first year of the crumple zones on these Chevy trucks, and since we've taken the hood saver off, you can see that it's got bend in it, and every time you pull on it, it gets more bend, and that back and forth motion right there is what's causing the fatigue. And this is where you usually get your tackle started, right there, back and forth, bending that hood just like that. Now on this application, I am going to add my own step into this. As you can see, without the hood savers, just in its natural form, there's still a bend. I just have some concerns that if I put it there, it's not going to pull the bend out well enough. So I'm just going to take this board right here, slide it up under here a little bit, not really pulling that hood hinge too far away from the hood itself, right about there. And then I am going to add a little extra weight right here. And I'm pretty sure the same thing can be accomplished with just a couple extra people helping you out. And now you can see it's a lot more straight. There's no pitch down. Now, if I was real smart, I'd come in here with a welder and weld that up and beat that back into place and definitely have a really solid connection. But yeah, I don't have a welder here. Now we are finally off to step 2. It says to Gently lift up the hood and slide the hood saver into position. Reinsert the hinge bolt. Snug, only snug bolt, do not tighten. So we already have it lifted up a little bit. Is that enough room? No, we need to go up just a little bit. So just a hair there. And slide right back into, oh, whoops, too far. Right about there. And then we can put our bolt back in. And don't tighten it. Just hand tighten it. I should have lubricated that up too. Okay, leave it a little slack there, and then we can get it into the exact position that we want it. Make sure it's not too far over one side, not too far over the other. Nice and straight. And yeah, that looks like a good position. And it also says to take your time. Each hood alignment is different. Be sure that the hardware holes do not center on the rounded edges of the hood mold. So just make sure you don't get it too far off. Nice and center right there in the middle of this molded hood piece, formed hood piece, whatever you want to call it, right there in the middle of that brace. So pretty much right in the middle where it obviously goes. So not over, not over, not over, right there. Okay, next, now that you have it right there in position, all squared up, and you know exactly where you want it, you're going to come in there and you're going to mark each hardware hole with a marker or something. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we marked them all, and then we're going to remove our bolt and slide our hood saver 6000 right back out again. All right, unloosen the bolt, slide this guy back here, and now we have all our holes marked. So drop your other hood saver into the engine compartment. Yeah, be careful with these, because even though they're powder coated, I don't think you should set them across the battery. So there's that. All right, let's go get ourselves a center punch, and we can punch these holes out and then get us a drill bit and start drilling. Next up, we're going to punch our holes using a punch or a small Phillips screwdriver, since that's what I have. Just line up on your dot, make a couple marks there, one there, one there. 1, 2, 3. Where's the other one? There it is. 4. Okay, we have our dimples in, and then we are going to need, what size was it? A 7/32 drill bit, if we're using self-tappers, or a 25/64 drill bit for the nut certs. So if you're doing it the right way, 25/64 to get those nut certs in there, which you can always come back and do them later if you don't like it, and we will probably do that again later. But this is how probably 80% of you guys, probably 90%, probably 99% of you guys are going to do it, just with the self tappers here. And now it's time to drill your holes. Now don't just do this aggressively and shove it in there really hard, because you're going to come out the other side just nice and easy. A little bit of pressure until it breaks through, just like that. A little bit of pressure, hit it, a little bit of pressure, nice and slow, just like that. Don't push it, it'll go right through the other side of the hood. And that was step 3, by the way, if I didn't say it before. And it does say here in the instructions that it goes slow and not punch through there. So that is in the instructions. And it also says that hoods that are already bent may require assistance to push hood up or flat prior to making the 2 highest hardware holes closest to the VGG logo, the guys up there. So yeah, I was ahead of myself. It does say that in there. Make sure it's nice and flat before you drill at least these first 2 holes, because that's where the bend is. And then the back 2 holes will be in the regular place. The front 2 holes, bend it out, shove it up there, and then it'll be nice and straight. And step 4 is about using the nut certs, and it just pretty much says if using the nut certs, install all nut certs at the same time prior to reinstalling the brace. Then reinstall the hood brace, reinstall the hood hinge bolt, and once all the hardware holes are aligned, snug it up on the damaged hood. It's not uncommon for the 2 highest holes to not align until the hood is lifted flat again. So pretty much it's saying drill all your holes in there, put your brace back in, and if your brace doesn't align with the holes that you put in, make sure that you got it pushed up all the way and align those 2 front holes when you're using the nut certs. And on to step 5, which is where we are at, because we are using the self tappers. So it says to install the hardware into the 2 lowest hardware provisions. So that's pretty much saying slide this in here and put these last 2 bolts in, or self tappers in first. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So we're just going to slide this guy up here, and then we're going to align our holes. I'm using the top one just to align it a little bit, then I'll come down here and I'll align the bottom one. So it wants us to put in these 2 bolts right here. Here, come have a look on the self tappers. So this is our main hood hinge right here. This is 1, this is 2. We're going to go ahead and install our self tappers into these 2 first. Okay, so 1 in the bottom. Is that the right way? Whoops, wrong way. Right there. And number 2 right there. Okay, that's the 2 bottom ones. Now we're going to install our hood bolt next. All right, hood bolts. Okay, there's our hood bolt. Now we will be installing our next 2, making sure our hood is completely straight. And I just did 3. This is 4. That looks like it's it. Is that all we have to do? Looks done to me. I am going to go ahead and throw the other side on real quick, and then we'll come back and have a look. All right, just finished installing the other side. Now I am going to remove our weight and our board here, like so. Now let's come in here and have a look. Okay, let's look at our progress here. Everything's nice and straight here, and as you can see, our line right here, it's actually gapped, pulled apart. That means that this is now straight because it's not pinched together. If it was pinched together, it would be tackled, definitely. So this is our other side. I went ahead and put it on. Now if you notice this, there's a little bit of a gap right here. That's because this old hood was bent so bad that it actually bent the end of the hood hinge, but it was just the very end, and we're still okay there. That's how it was with the old hood savers on it, and that's how it is with the new hood savers on it. And we got our VGG right up here where you can see it much better. It looks a whole lot better than being way down here. So definitely a big improvement. Got our powder coating on. Nice straight hood. Now let's see how good it closes. Now, even though we have our hood savers on and we got our hood nice and firm again, we're still not going to come in here and just drag it down like that. I mean, if these hood hinges were really old and rusty, it wouldn't matter how much bracing you put underneath it here, it would still bend up. But we're oiled up, we're lubricated real nice, we got our hood savers on. For you people that don't know, not like this, not like this. Push in. See how easy that is? Just push in. You don't even have to use your fingertips. You can just use the heel of your hands. Watch. Push in. You'll probably just do it with one. Huh? When it's lubricated up, just like that. Nice and smooth. Now that the hood is closed, take a look at our hood lines. If that was the old, even with the old braces, there was a little bit of a, just a little bit of a hump. It came up just a little bit. That's gone now with the new ones. Let's look at the other side. It's nice, nice and flat there. That's not bad. That looks way better. So there you have it. So if you want to pick up a set of these Vice Grip Garage hood savers for yourself, all you have to do is go to vicegrip.com, their merchandise page, and I think they're right there on the first display. But they're $59.99 or $59.95. They're $60 plus whatever shipping to wherever you live is. So $60 plus shipping. You have yourself an untoggled hood. Looks good, performs good, in my opinion. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Street Rag Garage. Until next time.